We have major Miami Dolphins news ahead of this Thursday Night Football Thanksgiving game between the Dolphins and the Green Bay Packers. We have roster moves plus injury news that we have to discuss on today's episode of Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff. Welcome in here to today's show. And make sure you are subscribed to the show as well, because we are going to be live for Thursday night Thanksgiving football, Dolphins Packers. This is the thumbnail. If you see it on your YouTube page, make sure you click on it and join us. It is going to be a lot of fun. We'll be having an hour-long pregame tailgate. We'll be drinking, we'll be partying, and hopefully we'll be witnessing a Dolphins statement win. All right, the Dolphins roster move. It's about time, folks. Isaiah Wynn is officially activated off of the PUP list. Wynn has been out for so long. He finally makes his return to this Dolphins team. He had his practice window open 2 weeks ago, gets activated to the active roster now. And in the corresponding move, offensive lineman Lester Cotton is waived. A little bit of a shocking move, in my opinion. But either way, the move everybody was waiting for finally gets done as the Dolphins get Isaiah Wynn back to the depth chart. And this is where things stand at now. I wasn't sure if Miami was going to keep 9 offensive linemen or keep the 8 offensive linemen they've had all year long, or since Austin Jackson went down with injury. They ultimately are going to keep the 8 and keep Meyer as that backup interior offensive lineman. Isaiah Wynn joins that depth on the interior, but remember, he can play right tackle if absolutely necessary. He's played offensive tackle in his career in the past, not for Miami, but he's done it before. And Wynn makes this offensive line group a little bit more complete, if you will. I think Wynn is a great depth piece. Now, I'm kind of projecting here that he will not start for the Miami Dolphins because he just has not played in so long. And Robert Jones has been here all year long, hasn't missed a game in terms of starting it. So I would expect that to continue. But having Wynn as a depth piece is awesome because, like I mentioned, he's versatile. He can play left guard. He can play right guard. He can play right tackle. He can play left tackle. Now, I would expect Patrick Paul to be the first man up if Teron Armstead got hurt at left tackle. But at right tackle, since the rookie out of Houston has never played right tackle, I think Isaiah Wynn could be the guy they plug there if something happened to Kendall Lamb in the middle of the game. And that's kind of how I expect him to be used. Almost like a chess piece, a queen if you play chess, because he can play any type of position. He can go straight. He can go diagonal. He can go horizontal. He can do anything on this offensive line. Probably wouldn't trust him to play center, and let's just hope Aaron Brewer doesn't get hurt. And if he does, it probably would be Andrew Meyer. But either way, it's nice to have Isaiah Wynn as a versatile piece on this offensive line. And I don't think he's going to be rushed to start. I think they're going to ease him back. And the only way he is a starter on this team is if an injury occurs to Robert Jones. But let's hope that does not happen. Let me know your thoughts on it, though. Maybe you think differently. Should Isaiah Wynn be a starter for this Dolphins offensive line? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. All right, some more injury news here to break down. No longer positive. Mike McDaniel says he doesn't see Anthony Walker Jr.'s hamstring injury as a long-term issue. That's good, but the bad news is he's probably not available this week, but good news long-term for the linebacker for the Miami Dolphins. And just in case you do not remember what happened with Anthony Walker Jr., he left the Week 12 game against New England in the second quarter, non-contact hamstring injury. It sucks that he's out this week, but I am very happy he is not out for the year because he has been pretty solid for this Dolphins defense. He took over as the starter prior to that game against the Buffalo Bills. He started 4 full games. Bills, Rams, Raiders, Patriots. Obviously was not able to finish the game against New England due to leaving in the second quarter. But when he became a starter in Week 9 against Buffalo, he has been pretty solid statistically since then in the 4 games, totaling 21 tackles, having a PFF grade of 70, tackling grade of 67.1. And if you remember what David Long Jr.'s PFF grades look like, they were all in the low 40s, mid 30s. So it was nice to see Anthony Walker Jr. be graded out a lot higher over the last 4 games as a starter and be much better in coverage, only allowing 13 catches for 123 yards. Anthony Walker Jr. has been his calling card, if you will, is that he is a good coverage linebacker, and I think he's done that for the most part. And I know a lot of people might be stressed out and might be panicking over Anthony Walker Jr. being out for this game against Green Bay. But I need you to stay mellow. Shout out to Mellow Seltzer, one of my new favorite drinks. If you have any questions on Mellow, hit me up on social media at Nic_Rohloff on X, Twitter, or Instagram, and I'll give you more information. I love Mellow. But either way, it helps me stay mellow. And that's the name of the game. No need to panic, Dolphins fans. You could stay relaxed because Tyrell Dodson will fill in nicely for Anthony Walker Jr. in this group for the Miami Dolphins. And Dodson, who was a starter in Seattle the entire year, gets waived. And then a couple days later, the Dolphins claim him off NFL waivers and then release David Long Jr., who was a captain to start the season for the Dolphins. So they had a lot of faith in Dodson, and I think he rewarded them pretty nicely in his first action in a Dolphins uniform. Because in the 2.5 quarters he played against New England, I thought he was great. 5 tackles, had a PBU in coverage, had an interception off of the pressure from Jalen Ramsey, got his hand on a Drake May ball, floated at the line of scrimmage. Dodson made an athletic one-handed grab near that line of scrimmage to flip the script and basically seal the game for the Dolphins as the Patriots were down 16 with about 8 minutes to go. He only also allowed 3 catches for 12 yards, which means he allowed 3 receptions, but all of them were short yardage in zones, and as soon as the catch was made, well, guess what? He was right there to make the tackle and bring him down. No extra yak for the Patriots pass catchers when Dodson was around them. I have confidence in this guy. He was really good at the end of his career for the Bills, spent his first 4 seasons there, had 71 tackles halfway through the season with the Seattle Seahawks. They went with a rookie linebacker over Dodson because of a long-term thing. They waived him. I don't understand why Dodson was out there. I'm glad Chris Grier grabbed him because if Anthony Walker Jr. still got hurt and we didn't do this move of Dodson, we would have to rely on it, David Long Jr. again, and that would be an absolute disaster. I have confidence in Tyrell Dodson, and I'm glad he will be on the field with Jordan Brooks this upcoming Thursday night. All right, make sure you subscribe to the channel because rain or shine, we're going to have you covered on everything Miami Dolphins, no matter what, news, rumors, breakdowns of games. Make sure you hit that sub button because we are going to be your one-stop shop for everything you need around the Miami Dolphins. All right, another injury news here. This one negative once again. Kendall Fuller, who missed the last 2 games due to concussion that he suffered on Monday Night Football in Week 10 against the Rams, is unlikely to play on Thursday against the Packers. I was very hopeful he would be able to play in this one after getting a full 2 weeks off since it happened 2 weeks ago on Monday. This game's on this Thursday, already 2 weeks in between. Evidently not going to be the case. It's going to be his 3rd game in a row that he misses, 4th game of the season. And this one is brutal for Miami, man. This one is an injury that I thought the Dolphins could afford to kind of sustain with the games against Las Vegas and in New England, but against a good offense like the Green Bay Packers, it's going to be a lot tougher because Fuller's been sensational this year for the Fins, only allowing 56.5% completion percentage, only 168 yards, only 1 touchdown, graded out really nicely by PFF in the high 60s in both overall and coverage. Fuller, I thought he was an excellent signing in the offseason to be an improvement over Xavier Howard as CB2. He proved me right, and he's been playing excellent ball this season, allowing Kohu to be on the inside, Jalen Ramsey to kind of roam around, and it stinks that he's going to miss this game against a pretty solid wide receiver core in Green Bay, and this is the first true test for this Dolphins secondary. Like I said, Miami was fine without Kendall Fuller when you're playing wide receiver cores and quarterbacks like Gardner Minshew, rookie Drake May. Jacoby Myers is the best wide receiver you faced over the past 2 weeks. It's no slant on Jacoby Myers. It's just the fact that if he's the best wide receiver you play in a 2-week span, that's not really going to concern me enough. The Packers are a whole different story. They got weapons out the wazoo, and they don't have big-time names, but they're a very solid unit, folks. Don't get it twisted. Romeo Doubs is questionable for this game with a concussion. We'll see if he ultimately plays. But Christian Watson is a deep threat machine. He's got a good size to him. He's fast. Jaden Reed is elite in the slot. If Doubs does miss this game, they're going to have to rely on Dontavian Wicks. They use Tucker Kraft. They use Josh Jacobs. Jordan Love spreads the ball around. And even though it doesn't have some elite top 15, top 20 wide receiver on this group, and I still think they don't even compare to the Miami Dolphins wide receiver core that features 2 top 20 guys, in my opinion, with Waddle and Tyreek Hill, it is still going to be something that concerns me a little bit here, as the Dolphins are going to have to rely on Storm Duck or Cam Smith to fill in for Kendall Fuller for the 3rd straight week. And this week being against a much better opponent and much better wide receiver core, it's going to be interesting for me for sure. I'm a little concerned. Let me know your concern level with the Dolphins secondary against this Packers passing offense, including their wide receiver core that is not talked about a lot, but it is a pretty solid one. Let me know your concern level with the Dolphins secondary. No rookie scores. I'm going 7.8. I am slightly concerned. I don't even know if that's slightly anymore. I think that's just concerned. It's going to be tough, man. But Storm Duck and Cam Smith just getting more reps, getting more playing time on a daily, weekly basis. You're going to have to hope that the two of them combine to play their best game of the season and really limit these wide receivers for the Packers. If I had to project it, I think Kohu plays nickel and just guards Jayden Reed the entire game like he normally does. I think Jalen Ramsey, he doesn't really shadow. And I don't think the Packers have anyone shadow worthy, but I would like to see him matched up with Christian Watson quite a bit because Watson is very quick, very good in size, very similar to Brian Thomas Jr. almost that the Dolphins played in week 1 against the Jaguars. But either way, it's going to be a tough test for this Dolphins cornerback room and secondary. All right, I'll do it for today's episode of Dolphins Today. Hit that sub button. We'll see you on Thursday night for Packers Dolphins Week 13 watch party. Subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you then.